Yo guys, this is ShadowsEnigma giving you another video of basically Outbreak Easter egg, and to help you guys out with some field upgrades and weapons that you should use that I recommend to help you get the Easter egg done. First of all, like, subscribe, comment. It's a little button that you can click on that says subscribe. It's in red, or you could just tap on it if you're on a phone or tablet or whatever. Just hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that if you dislike it, hit that dislike button. Leave a comment. Whatever. Just let us know that you care. Let me know that you care. That's what I'm here for. If you don't care, too bad. I'm going to make videos anyway, so deal with it. Anyway, so here's the thing. The first thing that you're going to want to work on is for gun-wise is an M16. If you have the Alien Tracer pack, which has the toxic bonus kind of damage in zombies, then you're going to want to use that. Use that M16. It really does make a difference. If not, then use the Gallows. If you're playing solo, I would recommend, the M16 and the Gallo. Okay, start with the Gallo. I would start either one. You start with either one. Make sure you have a save blueprint mod for those particular gun classes, and whatever you don't start with and you pick up along the way, apply that blueprint mod to it. Whatever your setup is. Second of all, in solo, you're going to want to have at least either the M16 or a Ray K or a ray gun and a Gallo. That's Pack-a-Punch 3 and max tier of legendary, and some damage and some accuracy and range type of attachments to it, and that way you can deal as much damage as possible to Legion once you get there. Not only that, going into the silo, and it's going to help clear, especially with the mimics that spawn in. There's at least 20 or 30 different mimics that spawn in that center silo room. That'll help, get you through the game and get stuff done that way. Another thing that I want to address is, once you get to that point, you're going to want to run, or field upgrade for solo, you're going to want to run an Aether Shroud. So basically, and this is only at Legion, so before you get to Legion or the silo, you're going to want to run Frenzy Guard. I believe you if I could talk. The thing of it is I recommend that you run the Frenzy Guard all the way to, round 4, at beginning of round 4 or round 5, beginning of round 5. That way, once you switch to your Aether Shroud, then you will be able to, build up your Aether Shroud stacks for, and race your way through to get it done a lot faster. For solo. And I would even run that Aether Shroud in solo for Legion when you get there as well. Either that or just run Frenzy Guard. So if you feel like you'll be okay just running Frenzy Guard and whatever, then go for that. Go for that instead of Aether Shroud. Another thing I want to talk about is 2-player. If you have 2 people, then you're going to want to have per person either have Aether Shroud on, and the second person have Frenzy Guard, and make sure that you have at least 2 of those 4 weapons that I mentioned. The Gallo definitely, but if they don't have an M16, then make sure they have a Ray K or a ray gun. By the time you get to the silos where you can go underground and make sure it's triple packed. And unless it's M16, also triple packed and fully upgraded to legendary tier. If not, at least epic. And that's field upgrades. Like I said, Aether Shroud and Frenzy Guard. Make sure that everything is maxed out at 5. And make sure you have all the perks. Yeah, if you're not too confident, then go for Tombstone as well. But I mean, it's really not needed. I feel like Tombstone is just a wasted perk slot for the game, in my opinion, just because there's so many ways to revive yourself and whatnot. So, yeah, moving on to 3 players. Okay, now this is where things get fairly difficult for most people, because then the field upgrades vary. A lot of people run certain field upgrades that really could screw over the game. Or the team. I've seen people run 2 Aether Shrouds. I've seen people run an Aether Shroud, a Frenzy Guard, and a Healing Aura. Honestly, the best thing to do for a 3-player is, believe it or not, is 1 Aether Shroud and 2 Frenzy Guards. And make sure the 2 Frenzy Guards are taking turns and communicating fairly well. And the reason why I say this is because on the first Frenzy Guard usage for the field upgrade, after getting all your guns and making it to Legion and whatnot, and you're starting to deal damage to Legion, if you have the first person use Frenzy Guard and then have the second person wait until after yours is done, and then wait for the next wave to come, unless you didn't deal damage to the first wave to begin with, then make sure that when you use the second Frenzy Guard, make sure the first guy with the Frenzy Guard is dealing damage to the zombies and the elites that are down there, that are down there. That way they can build their Frenzy Guard up while yours is still active, and while the second person's is active, they should be dealing damage to Legion shields, and the Aether Shroud person should be up there dealing damage to the shields as well until they break, and then start DPSing the shard as much as possible, so that way you can continue. A 4-player, when it comes to 4-player, the first 3 players should run the same. You have 1 Aether Shroud guy, 2 Frenzy Guards, and the 4th guy, I've seen people run Healing Aura and it just doesn't work out. The reason why is because, the healing does come in handy, but it's only 1 usage, and it doesn't really benefit anything after it's used. So Ring of Fire would be my recommendation, and how you would run a 4-player is you make sure that the Aether person is dealing DPS to Legion at all times. No matter what's happening, he's dealing damage to Legion no matter what. And it's up to you 3, which would be the 2 Frenzy Guards and the Ring of Fire guy, to deal damage to all the ads, or zombies and elites that are down there. And how you should run this is, first of all, have your first Frenzy, and before anything, if the Ring of Fire guy has his Ring of Fire up, okay, then this is how you run it, okay? Or has his field upgrade for Ring of Fire ready. Okay, the first Frenzy Guard uses his ability, okay? The second Frenzy Guard keeps a hold of that ability until after the first one's gone, okay? The Ring of Fire guy can use his Ring of Fire at that point. That means everybody should be dealing damage to Legion. Everybody at that point should be dealing damage to Legion, okay? And by that time, you should have him down instantly, if not pretty close. But if not, then let's just say the first Frenzy Guard was already used up, and you have the second Frenzy Guard ready for availability. Okay, at that point, that's when you're going to need to be like, okay, now the first Frenzy Guard and the Ring of Fire guy need to deal damage to the zombie and elites that are still there, especially if it's a massive wave, so that they can build their field upgrades up, and while the second one's active. And if the second frenzy is active, then that Frenzy Guard guy and the Aether Shroud guy should be dealing DPS damage, while the other two are building up their field upgrades as much as they can. And then rinse and repeat. And try not to go down in the process. If you go down, that means that you're going to lose the majority of your perks, if not half of them, and it's going to slow down the game to where you may not succeed. But if you're not only that, jump to high ground when you're DPSing Legion. That's something I failed to mention. Make sure on each player round, each set of player stuff, you're getting as high as you can, so that you can stay out of harm's way while dealing damage as much as possible. And whatnot. Be wary though. The elites are not affected by Frenzy Guard, so if there's a lot of elites, make sure you take them out, or be cautious about that. And that's beside the point. So, with that being said, hopefully this advice has helped a lot. Again, make sure that if it's a one-player game, you can run Frenzy Guard all the way up to either completely all the way through, or you could run Aether Shroud at the beginning of wave 5, round 5, so that you can start building that up and going down and rushing through it, which I recommend you do that anyway for the silo, because it's really cramped down there, and having all those zombies coming at you and elites coming at you is going to be a pain. So that's that. 2 players, make sure you have one Aether Shroud guy and a Frenzy Guard guy, and make sure you and him are using your abilities wisely, your field upgrades wisely, while building all getting all these guns, which whatnot. 3 players, you're going to want 2 Frenzy Guards and a Aether Shroud field upgrades. And 4 player, I recommend having a Aether Shroud guy, 2 Frenzy Guards, and a Ring of Fire. That way, then you can all work it out to where you can get Legion defeated. When I did it was with only 3 people, and I don't want to rub it in, but I kind of they went down a lot, and I kind of had to Aether Shroud my way around to revive them so that they could help DPS and whatnot. It took a little bit longer than it should have, but it still happened. I wasn't going to say that I carried them, because I really didn't, but at the same time, they went down a lot, but I still had to, we still succeeded regardless. So with that being said, hopefully this advice has helped you guys out a lot. Especially if you're a big Easter egg guy or gal, whatever, and you're trying your best to be like, yo, I want to play zombies. Zombies is good, is the shit. Then there you go. Also, with that being said, please like, subscribe. Oh, make sure you have the M16. Either an M16 of any kind, preferably the Alien Tracer pack. But any kind, and a Gallo, maxed out as much as you can, and Pack-a-Punch as much as you can, or replace the M16 with a Ray K or a Ray gun. By the time you get to where you can go descend into the silo, make sure you keep that Gallo though at all times, because that will really help. It also, like, if you run out of ammo, get a death machine. That helps too. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this advice. It's the best advice I can give you for Outbreak Easter eggs. Sorry, it's not a gameplay like most people want to see or want on their channel. But things are rough right now. I can't do that. So hopefully hopefully you guys enjoyed this content. Hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, dislike if you dislike it. Let me know what's going on. Peace, guys.